Rez, my boy, you haven't posted in, this week, so now it's my turn. You guys are gonna have to get a new oldie because Rez is letting the side down. I was meant to upload T-shirt today. It's gonna come out next week. If you want to keep up to date with T-shirt comedy, hit the eye thingy in the corner somewhere. There will be a standard, upload coming out next week probably. Well, the week after, every 2 weeks, interchanging. But for this week, we're gonna go way back into June, I think May, June time. But yeah, let's get it. Alright. Y'all been bugging me for so long. Oh, you only ever wear Arsenal shirts. You only ever wear Arsenal shirts. Well, let's get it for the summer. ASOS Hall, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. What's going on, guys? This is obviously Jordan here, back again with another video. Today I'm going to be using my Pixel 6 as a camera. So if the audio or video quality is a bit different, it's because Aaron's doing his media A-level. So boy, you better get an A-star. All this video better get 1,000 views, otherwise it's going to be a scrap when I get home for Christmas. This is effectively like the first, I don't know why I'm still wearing these. This is effectively the first summer we've had since, the glitch. And I figured it's about time I buy some new clothes. For the longest time I've been going out and exclusively tracksuit bottoms and Arsenal away kits. So ASOS drop. Let's see what happens. Give you some updates in real time as well. I've been doing stand-up recently. 30 has been going okay. New content on the way. So yeah, let's get it. First of all, the only thing that I actually did take out of the packaging is this shirt. I've never really been a shirt person, but I appreciate that shirt's actually quite a cool look. But I just like the idea of having something to wear on top of a t-shirt, because as it stands, I've got a bunch of coats and a bunch of tracksuit bottoms. But I don't want to just go out and just a t-shirt and a coat, especially in the summer when it's a bit warmer. So this neat. I think this is neat. I think it looks better in person than it is. Maybe I'll have to put a picture up of me wearing it in public. But yeah, shirt. If you probably can't see that, but well, there's a stain on it from where I wore it out recently. But other than that stain, this is like a soft material. I must have spent like £5 this cost, I think, on ASOS. So pretty decent. I'm feeling sharp already. Feel like I can go to a wedding or something. Got the St. Patrick, I think. I don't know. St. Christopher. Shout out to Baby Step for this t-shirt. This is one of my favourite tees. But next up, the next fit we got here. I've always kind of liked green, but not like green. There's like the type of green that looks good and the type that doesn't look good. And I've recently discovered like khaki, kalui, whatever it's called, the colour. And like, when I say recently, I literally mean like as I was going through the ASOS website, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is quite a cool colour. So I've got the khaki, another shirt. I kind of like looking down at it, but I don't really like looking up at it. Maybe it's me. Plus, I think it goes pretty well with the trackies. This is a complete look. One thing that I've been going through recently, quite personal to me, I've always tried to be a medium. I've always said I'm roughly 6 foot. I wear medium clothes. My shoes are size 10, but I think it's time to accept that I'm a small. I've been going through it recently. All of this is small fitting. I'm still 6 foot, and whoa. I kind of like the long sleeve. I don't know. I feel like I don't think I should wear it like this out and about. Actually, you know what? Now that I see it in front of me, this is pretty cool. I think I need to work on my biceps, but otherwise it's calm. Look at this. I've never really been a baggy jeans type of person, but how's third year going so far? Third year, I say so far. The ironic thing is like the last week of lectures was last week, and now we're basically heading into exams. Today's Tuesday, the 11th, I think. Tuesday the 10th, maybe. And my first exam is on May 16th, Monday 16th next week. So the year's effectively over. I was gonna do a little update video midway through the year to talk about where I was, how the year was going. But if I'm being completely honest, this year was so intense, so difficult. And even right now, I should probably be studying in the library. Not because it was literally just really, really hard. I mean, it is pretty challenging, I'm not gonna lie. Third year engineering, you can imagine it's gonna be quite tough. But it didn't help having failed first year and second year. Having come back with like huge gaps in my knowledge. Like a lot of the coding projects I've done this year, fortunately, I was lucky that a lot of them were group projects. So my team would kind of do a lot more of the technical coding stuff, and I'd do some of the other work. But it's like, it's very tough to just pick up coding on a whim, especially when it's like you're not just learning the code; you're also learning like how to apply it using all these different packages, using all these different not installments, but like classes and all these different things. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then don't bother, don't bother. But it's not as simple as like, okay, you know the basics, so now I can make an AI just work. There's a lot of steps in the process, and once you even learn the basics and the syntax, and which language you're going to use, what package to install, they all also have their own like tailored, lines and not lines. You can tell I'm still not up to scratch with the code, my coding knowledge. But it's been very very difficult trying to first of all to get up to date where everyone else is, and then try and like actually apply that in real time, actually understanding the content. And when you're working in teams, sometimes, well, pretty much for the entire year, I just felt so bad. I feel like I'm letting everyone down, and we know what I'm doing. It's Fortunately we do have like peer reviews, peer assessments, and every single time I've been honest with myself, and I've given myself like a point deduction in order, because you have to give it like a net zero. So for me to give everyone else like a justified score, I've had to take a deduction myself, which I feel like most students would do anyway. I don't think anyone's that self-serving, that narcissistic, where it's like if you don't do any work, you still give yourself a positive score. But it just makes you, it affects you in ways beyond like getting a low grade or a lower grade, I should say, is one thing, but like the constant feeling of like underachievement, or underwhelming, or letting everyone down or whatever, that contributed a lot more to my stress than like actually doing bad, because my numbers and my grades actually aren't awful at the moment, and I say that given that I still have about 50% still outstanding, because I made the mistake of having so many exam modules, and all of them in the second term as well, which means the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks are going to be very, very challenging. But yeah, my numbers are actually okay, but it's like the constant pressure of feeling like you're not doing enough and you're not feeling good enough, on top of the fact that this whole energy crisis and like money situation has been very tight. I've had to be quite, I've always been a frugal guy anyways, but it's like having to be extra frugal recently, and all these other pressures of being a student. I feel like now, it's never really been easy being a student. Well, like, compared to like working, it's been like relatively easy. But I feel like this year, and a bit last year as well, has been especially challenging. Like hybrid learning, you have some people here, some people not here. Your lecturers kind of know what they're doing, but also kind of don't, and everything's kind of been up in the air, left and right. My strategy for this year was to try and do like a 9 till 5, which is a video that I put out at the start of the year saying this is what I'm going to try and do. And I tried it. I tried it for a good while, but it just never seemed to work, because you just get stressed out. You get burnt out quickly, and then you have to focus on these other things, like how am I going to make new friends? I joined the football team. I've done those other things to try and meet new people. I've got a bunch of mates now, but it's like the process of doing all these things at once, and then having to make more money to do the things you want to do. Buying all this stuff from ASOS. Yeah, it's long. It's long, and admittedly, I could have put more time into it. But I do think always having the YouTube channel in the back of my mind and a podcast in the back of my mind was other things I wanted to do. Made it difficult to focus, and it's interesting because the year, of course, is still going on. And after this video, I'm going to go and like go to the library and then edit the video, and then actually start studying and get on with it. And I'm pretty confident that I can get a good grade for this year. Well, I'm already on a decent grade, but I'm confident I can get the 2-1/1st that I'm after. It's just a process of like always feeling like you're behind. I'm always having to do something. There's always like a air of guilt when you're not doing something, and to some extent that guilt was like pressure that I put on myself. It's not explicit from the environment around me, but that has made it difficult to stay on track at all times, or to get these videos done, to get everything else done. In saying that, like, I'm probably the happiest I've ever been. Like, I'm in a good frame of mind, because I realize that I have complete control over what I do, and it's actually a good thing, if anything, that I don't work on things like the video, or if I don't go to the library, because that's me telling myself like, it's one thing to be procrastinating and lazy and like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, versus like, I would just rather do something else. I'd rather apply for the job interview, or I'd rather tidy up my room. Well, but that's kind of a bit of teetering into procrastination. But as long as you're doing things deliberately, like you know why you're doing it, and you have this aim, this goal in the back of your mind, like if I do this and that and that and that, I will get to where I want to be later. Like that's far more important. Having a strategy, having a process, having a system, is far more important than just doing things. Like being busy isn't the same as being productive, and I've learned that tenfold this year in third year. So hopefully we're going to continue to get more content out. And hopefully I'm going to get a good grade. Hopefully I'm not going to have to return any of this stuff. But as far as third year is concerned, I will do a full-on video, I think, later on, at the end of the year at least, once I've done my exams and stuff, to reflect on what's gone by. But as like a not even like an interim update, like the year's literally over, so as like an end of year update, third year is very tough, But the way to get through third year, and I think the way to get through most things in life, is to be deliberate and use your time wisely. Don't just do things for the sake of doing things. Make sure you're actually going towards a goal, and of course predefine what that goal is in advance, so you actually know if you're being successful or not. You know, you've heard of like SMART goals and stuff. Like know where you are and know where where you want to be, and that makes everything else just 10 times easier in the process. Whether you're ticking every single box or not doesn't necessarily matter, as long as you know that you're going to be where you want to be when the time comes that you set yourself to to be there. So that's my third year update in a nutshell. Good luck to me for the exams coming up next week. I will be going to the library in a moment once I finish this video, but let's try on some new stuff. Next, we have a bit of a lighter look. These are like a lot brighter, these jeans. Almost like white. And I think these are actual denim. They were supposed to be like joggers. Well, actually they weren't really. I don't really care that much. You'd think the idea is that clothes is kind of just clothes, right? But I know. As I said, I kind of grew up in a tracksuit and an Arsenal away kit era, so that's that. I actually kind of like this, even though I'm short-sighted and can barely make out how I look on the screen. Yo, I'm here for this, you know. I mean, I should probably iron it, but I'm here for it. So, me, Alpha J, as I'm called on stage, apparently, self-proclaimed, allegedly. I've recently started a new venture of stand-up comedy, and it's been fun. It's been fun. I've only actually done 2 sets, which I will show you in the future. I'm gonna like break down my jokes in a video. It's only a 5-minute set, so it's not like super long. But I thought it was funny. I really enjoyed doing it, and I mixed feelings about doing it again. So I guess in a nutshell, because I don't want to make this video too long, this is more just to show that I've got new clothes and to flex heading into the summer. But stand-up, it's very strange because it's like, I've always kind of known that I'm funny. People always like laugh at my jokes. Generally speaking, if I like say something, if I like make a joke, I feel like 9 out of 10 people in the room almost always laugh. I don't literally mean like, you know, on the floor, you know, huge laughs, roar of laughter, but my sense of humor is generally appreciated in the rooms that I enter, at least from my perspective. And that kind of, you know, of course, leads me to believe that I'm a funny person. And doing stand-up almost like blew that out of the water, because when you make a joke in a friendship group, you have like there's like, you all kind of have a similar pool of knowledge. You kind of know each other. The context is kind of like given. You're all kind of in the same playing field. So saying something funny, saying something in that environment, you know, you can argue that only those guys found it funny, or it's like an inside joke or something specific to your demographic or to your tribe or your crowd. Going on stage and saying jokes to a room full of like middle-aged white women on a you know on their hen night, or you know going to another night with talking to like proper pub geezers, and them still finding it funny. That was really bad for me, actually. That was really bad for me, actually. I mean, it was great. I mean, and again, I'm going to do it again, probably. But when I first came off the stage, I didn't actually say anything bad, because I just went home. I'm a normal person. But I was so, like, something kind of clicked in my head. But it's like, just because you're perceived as funny generally, doesn't mean that everything you say is funny. It doesn't mean that no matter what you do, you know, you can't be offensive. And what was going, I think I might have said something that was like borderline. Not even borderline. Someone said that, oh, you shouldn't. Are you sure you should say that? You know, I kind of got this like odd look. And I'm like, what? I'm funny. I'm a comedian. I can say what I want. And that's a very dangerous line to walk down. The ego is a dangerous place to be in. And I think being a comedian, getting that instant feedback, like the second I say it, people laugh. Now I know that what I said was funny, right? At least I know that those people found it funny. It's interesting to see like how people react to things, and the type of self-recognition I suppose that you get from that, or the instant perception, the instant feedback. Very interesting, very interesting. I'm going to go into it in more depth in that video. Again, I keep mentioning this infamous video hasn't even been recorded yet. But, you know, some other brief thoughts on doing stand-up. Like, it's cool to have instant feedback, yeah, for one. And it's cool to actually have to write jokes. Because when you're joking with your mates, as I said, there's like shared knowledge, shared experiences. You're all kind of on the same playing field. Context is kind of assumed, well, from context. But having to like write that and explain it, I'm a bit more of a observational / anecdotal comedian. So when I was writing my jokes, it was more like from my perspective or my thoughts on this, or you know what actually happened in the story. And that meant that after the first joke, you kind of knew what was going to come next. There was no need to reframe it or give more context. Yeah, objectively, you know, I thoroughly enjoy stand-up. The reason why I say I maybe might do it again is because first I got a bunch of good feedback. Oh, that was funny, that was good. Your stage presence is really cool. It's interesting to see you do that for the first time. Cool. And I was happy with that. People liked the jokes, cool. But then they got to a point where there's more and more people were starting to like the jokes. First it was like 5 to 7, and then it's like 15 to 20, then it's like 30 to 50, and they're sharing with their friends. You say, oh, I get this random guy coming to me, oh, I saw your video, that was really funny. And I was like, the pressure on my back to perform that again. Like, I feel like Kendrick Lamar out here, man. I feel like someone threw the word around generational talent. I don't want that pressure on me. I'm probably still gonna do it anyways. But it's kind of unique having so many people say like, I want to see your show. Because now it's like, if I do another show and I don't live up to the standard I set for myself, not only am I gonna feel bad, but it's gonna make the whole thing just feel less fun. I like how it's currently packaged in this like cool box of like, you're a good comedian. I've got this one 10 out of 10 performance. Let me just retire as a 10 instead of like reducing my average. I'm sure that I can come up with more material. I feel like anecdotally it's quite easy. Anyway, you can make things funny just by talking about it. That's kind of the whole point of anecdotal humor. But yeah, I'm definitely in a strange box, in a strange place, I should say. And at the end of the day, exams are paramount. They're way more important right now anyway, so it's not something that I'm putting much thought into. But another show in the future, maybe. I'm definitely going to use that experience again. Like, if I end up doing like sketches or skits or making more interesting approach to this YouTube channel, more of a methodical writing process, that's something that's absolutely going to happen. But whether I'm explicitly going to go up on stage again and do stand-up, I guess we'll see in the future. But time to try on the final set of clothes. I do have a bag. I bought this side bag, and the whole time I've been like, as I've been going through outfits, I'm like, which one is most suited to this, light blue bag. The last one is pink, so this is like a peach, that's like a pink. I don't think any of them will really fit this, but I do have this as well, so let's see what happens. So last but not at all least, this is the pink, and then we have like, this is another pair of denim joggers that I got on over here. I think it's actually quite cool. When I first put them on, I wasn't a huge fan. I feel like buying medium-sized jeans doesn't really make any sense. I've always been like a 32 or something. So going on ASOS and seeing them have it labeled small, medium, large, I'm like, I don't actually know what jean size I am. I got all long sleeve shirts. The idea behind getting long sleeve shirts is, first of all, I got light colours because they're more summery, but I also have long sleeve because, well, I live in England and the UK is almost always cold. Worst case, I'm not against just rolling the sleeves up, or of course, if I'm gonna wear these each with a shirt on it. Yeah, you know what? I think I've become a shirt man. I think I'm gonna wear different colors. My theory of like light on dark, or like a different shade on top and underneath, I thought that was a bad theory. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have ran with that. I don't know. I'm not like against it. I do kind of like the way my chain looks. At least. I'm definitely more ready for the summer than I was before I ordered all this stuff. Oh my God, I finally become one of these guys. I've always thought this was silly, and I still do think this is silly, but it's like, a lot of my clothes nowadays doesn't have pockets, or my jeans don't have like smaller pockets, or I don't want to have to carry a backpack everywhere I go. So just having this to put my phone in, or like, so I have sunglasses, prescription sunglasses, but again, it's like, I don't want to carry 2 glasses around, and if I'm not bringing a bag with me, it makes it difficult to, I actually quite like the colors of this. I might even go to the library like this. I'll put my MacBook in here. But I don't like having to carry like the whole glasses box. If I can just put the glasses in here, suddenly it's a whole different mood. People, like, a lot of my mates have asked me recently, what's the end goal with this? What do you want to do with it? And fundamentally, I do enjoy creating videos. I do enjoy sitting down, talking to the camera, editing. I love, when I go to the cinema, I'm always the more analytical friend. I'm looking at each frame by frame. No, that's not so true, but it's like, I've always got quite an artsy opinion on things because I do quite like the art scene in general. I quite like these things. And so I think fundamentally, from a creative standpoint, from an influence standpoint, from as a hobbyist, I'm going to continue with the videos, with the YouTube, with the podcast. The difference is, like, I've never really deep dove into the student YouTuber niche, whatever. And the study tube area, even though I've kind of existed in that space, I've never like fully relished it. And I feel like now that I'm going into my final year, 4th and final year of my masters, well, 7th final year, I should say. It's almost like I feel like I've only got a year left to really do all of those things, and then once that's done, it's like I either stop growing as a channel basically, or I start trying new things that I may or may not enjoy as much, or I don't want to be forcing it again. As I was saying earlier in the video, you got to be deliberate of what you do, and deliberately, I'm making this video now, but what am I going to do in a year's time when I'm just like an investment analyst or something, or maybe I might just be a full-time YouTuber if the content goes well. But if I end up, with my secondary, not even secondaries, I've always wanted to be, well, that's not, I haven't always wanted to be a consultant, but for as long as I started uni, the career path that I resonate with the most is like consulting or like financial services. More so than engineering. Engineering is cool, but I don't like these like 20-year projects that you may or may not be heavily involved in. But I quite like the consulting scene, tech consulting, management consulting. I like venture capital. And if I end up in one of those industries, the content that I make is going to be a lot more niche than it has been. I don't even know. I guess it's interesting because I talk about like anecdotal comedy. A lot of my videos have been more anecdotal as well. I'm kind of like documenting, talking about myself, my experiences. And again, the more niche I go, the more specialized I go, this is going to appeal to less and less people. So I don't know. I'll see how it goes. I'm still going to make videos for the foreseeable. And the odds are the podcast or the channel, like, it's possible that I could do numbers and then I could speak to you guys directly to see what you guys want. And then of course that gives me the scope to to grow and to keep making content from more of like a give and take instead of me just like putting stuff out for the sake of it. I probably will just still make videos and stuff anyways. Like I did a darts tournament recently with my football team, which I'll show you that video for. I made another video which I'm not going to talk about today, but that's going to be a fun video coming soon. Shout out to my Valentine's Day disaster. But as I'm sitting here wearing the Cosmo pink. Cosmo was green, wasn't it? Wonder was pink. Shout out to fairy parents. But yeah, I'm still always going to be the creative guy. I'm always going to try and make something. It's just whether or not I deliver it through this medium of YouTube is what we'll see for the foreseeable. So, well, yeah, I mean, for the foreseeable, I'm still going to make these videos. It's just like after uni or whatever. We'll see how things go after that. But yeah, that's that in a nutshell. This is my completed summer look. Shout out to ASOS for sorting me out. By the end of next year, the goal is to become a Gymshark model, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe, share the thing, and yeah, don't ask me what's in this bag.